Hey guys, what's up and welcome to part 2 of the Deathmatch series. If you've not watched part 1, I recommend that you watch that. I don't really think that you probably could get some benefits from watching this, but it'll make a lot more sense if you watch part 1. If you're pretty familiar with a few bits and pieces in Unreal, you could probably watch part 1 in maybe like 1.5 playback and just skim through it. But yeah, this is just a continuation of part 1. So the goal is to make a deathmatch game with AI bots, a deathmatch shooter game. And we're just going to continue on from that. So far what we've done is we have made this third person shooter with a beta game, fires bullets, and you can reload once your clip gets down to 1, which I'm probably going to change. That started to bug me while I'm repeatedly testing it. But yeah, that's where we're up to with the UI and health in the corner. So yeah, obviously with a few test runs over and over and over again, this ammo having to get to 1, I'm not too sure why I put that in there, but I've decided now that I'm just going to get rid of that. Every time you press reload, it resets your ammo straight to 25. Your ammo's infinite anyway, so what does it matter? Yeah, so that's the first thing that I'm going to change. Secondly, what else I'm going to do is I'm going to set up an input key for the R, rather than it just being a hard-coded R press. I'm just going to go to the project settings, and I've set up an input for, let's go new action mapping. Now I'm just going to put reload. I'm going to set this to keyboard and the letter bar. I can close that now, go back to my character, delete that, just right click and press reload, and then just assign that. Whoa, no, wrong one. Reload action mapping. Get that in there. Yep, so that's just a little bit more official. And then what else I'd also recommend we start to do is, when we've just got like actual functions that we're dealing with here, we should just put reload. We should just comment these, and then at least they're all nice and tagged up. When you zoom out, then you can see, this is where my reload is, and you know, whatever. So it's quickly just going to run through this and comment, and you know, deduct ammo. If that's reload, I tell you what, let's grab that, and we can stick that in there, can't we? They're both reloading functions, we may as well stick them together. Deduct ammo, that's, well, we're good on that, aren't we? So here we've got our spawn projectile, reload and deduct ammo all together. What else have we made? And our character HUD. HUD. There we go. Okay, so now everything's nice and commented. So going forward, you know, we're just going to try and keep stuff as tidy as possible. I know I didn't really do that in the first part, but you know, as we add more and more things, it's going to get crazier. So we could do with adding some organization. Okay. Right. So how should we proceed with part 2? Let's just have a little play. Let's just see what I think we could do. Oh, I know what we could do. So our weapon fires projectiles, and currently we're not doing any damage. So I mean, that could be something that we could set up. So for the damage, let's go back to our example map. Let's go back to our first person. Let's go back to blueprints, and let's get our projectile. So at the moment our projectile is just checking to see if it simulates, whatever it's hit is simulating physics. If it is, then it's adding an impulse and then it's destroying itself. So the projectile doesn't exist anymore. But that only does that if it is simulating physics. If it's false, it doesn't do anything. I think once it's hit something, whether it's simulating physics or not, we should destroy it anyway. Because, I mean, that will prevent it from bouncing around the scene, no matter what it hits. As soon as it's hit, it's gone. I think yeah, that's probably a little bit better. Okay, so let me just extend this comment out. Let's make it a bit bigger. Give us a bit more space. I'm just going to pop that down there like that. Because I am going to add something in here. So, we hit something. We check if it's simulating physics, whether that's true or false. We add the impulse if it's true, and if it's false, either way we delete the actor. So let's apply damage. So just drag off your impulse and apply, and then you should only get a couple. So apply damage is one of them. And let's just pull it down a little bit more. So now what we're doing is, if it's simulating physics, we're now applying damage. So we actually need this twice. So let's just drag that down. And essentially, if we're not applying damage, if we're not hitting something that's physics, either way we're going to apply damage to everything we hit. Yeah, that's alright. How much damage? Let's just say that each bullet at the moment is 25, so that's 4 hits to kill someone. Oh, that's 250. That's a bit too much. We haven't got a damage class. What is causing the damage? So I guess the damage causer is whoever owns. This'll do, to be honest. This will apply damage to everything, but I'm just thinking at some point we're going to need to track who's killed who. I'll tell you what, I'll come back to that, but I think we're going to need to set this to get owner. You know, I might just chuck that in there now and just see what happens. The causer is whoever owns this projectile. And I guess for that to be accurate, let's go back to our character and let's check. I'm looking at the spawn projectile blueprint. Now here, when we spawn it and actually create that projectile owner, here we go. We should set that owner to self, I guess. Self. There we go. So essentially we're saying I am the one, so this UE4 character, I am the one who owns every projectile that I fire. And then when the projectile hits something, it's applying damage to whatever it hits. Oh well, it's not actually, because we've not even linked that up. I'm glad we came back, but it's also telling the actor that's being damaged, you know, who caused that damage, which is me. So later on in the game, later on in the project, we can link this owner up to like a kill counter, like this person killed this person, or you know, like 1 point. 1 point to me, I guess. Okay, so the other thing we need to link up is what actor are we damaging? You know, what is the damaged actor? Well, it's going to be what we hit. So it's going to be other component, you know, the component that we hit. Let's just check, is that actor? Yeah, we'll go with actor. So we're going to hit that, and then we're going to hit that. So we've got blue lines running everywhere now. I'm going to attempt to make this somewhat neater. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm not going to waste your time doing it. But essentially we've gone from other, which is an actor object reference, to this damaged actor. And make sure you do it for both. So they should be the same now. Yeah. So we're applying damage with our projectile. Let's just save that. But we never receive damage, you know, because we actually need to program into each actor that can receive damage to receive damage. Now there's a neat little node called event any damage. There we go. And essentially that just detects if anything hits our character which has got apply damage to it, this will pick up on that. So you can even have like explosions that give off a damage radius, and if you're in that you'll receive any damage. And that comes with a figure, obviously how much damage and who caused it. So for us, what we want to do is we want to get our health. Health minus damage, and then we're going to set health back to whatever it is. So here all we've done is we've said, right, get my health minus the damage that we've been hit with, and then set our health back to whatever this calculation is. But I guess at some point we're going to die, aren't we? So do we check to see if we've got any health first? Let's chuck that in. So let's get our health. Let's say greater than. Is our health greater than 0? If that is true, then continue to take some health aware. If it's false though, technically we're already dead. So we can link that up to like die or something, you know. But unfortunately there isn't a pre-built function for dying, so we need to make one of those. So let's just quickly comment this as receive damage. I keep doing that with capitals. Damage. Let's receive some damage there. And then right, so to make a function for dying, we need to create a custom event. So this is going to be a custom event. So you can see that a custom, the one highlighted is add custom event, and I'm just going to call this die. Nice and simple. Now I'm not actually going to do anything off it just yet. I'll just put in something generic like a print string. Now a print string will just put a message in the top corner of your game, and we'll just put you died. I see, I keep doing that with a second capital. It's annoying to me now. You died. So at the moment, if we comment that and put died, yeah, die, that'll do. Move that over. So now, if our health is not greater than 0, is 0 going to be? Yeah, if it's not greater than 0, it means it's less than 0. That's probably going to be too much. So should it be greater than or equal to 0? Yeah, that might. Greater than or equal to 0. No, I don't want that, because if it is equal to 0, that'll carry on. Yeah, so I should have left it alone. Greater than. It is 10 o'clock at night for me now, so I am getting quite tired considering I wake up very early. Yeah. So yeah, now we wanna die. So if we drag off false and if we type die, we've actually got that function now because we've just made it. So now I can extend this over, and that's just gonna write this string saying you've died. So let's just have a nosy at this. So we receive damage. Are we greater than 0? Yeah. Take the damage. We do it again. Take the damage, take the damage, take the damage. But what happens if it's greater than 0, but it's only 1, and then we take 25 off it? Once we set this health, we should probably check again what we've just set it to, and say like, well, is what you've just set it to still greater than 0? Because if not, you need to die. And I guess this one would then be somewhat redundant, but it's probably best to leave it there just to catch any issues that I've not thought about yet. It won't hurt to leave that there. So you know what? I'm just going to literally copy that. So with all of them selected, press Control and W, get a duplication going. Drag that over here. I just missed that. There we go. Drag that over. Doesn't need to be that far away, does it? You could link this to that like that, but I'm just going to put that there, so then it's really obvious what we're doing. We're checking if our health is greater than 0 still. If it's true, we're not really going to do anything, because if it's still greater than 0, then who cares? But if it's not, then we need to die. So false, we're going to die. Bloody hell. There we go. If it's false, we're going to die. So that should be pretty much it. So, right, I just need to test to see if that works. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a blueprint class. I'm going to create an actor, and I'm just going to call this pain. Let's just create a cube of pain. Now this is blank, so we're going to add a component. We're going to press B, and we're going to get a box collision. Now this white dot is what's called the anchor. Now if I put this in my world, it's just going to sit in the center, which means, sorry, it's got that the center of this dot is going to sit on the floor. So half of this box is going to be underground. So I'm just going to lift that box up so it's above that white, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. Hit compile. Oh, actually, on the box, let's go to the render, and where it says hidden in game, we just want to untick that so we can see where it is. And then, actually, there is another shortcut in this menu. If we scroll right down to the bottom, all the events that this box has built in is there. And we want to check if something has overlapped this box, so if something's walked through it. And if that happens, we want to just apply damage. We want to apply damage to the actor. The damage we want to apply is going to be 50, why not? And then just press compile. So every time we walk over this box, it's going to give us 50 damage. Go back to your map and just drag your little pain cube in. So now now you can see, because of the center of that is sat on the ground, this cube's fully above. Whereas if I'd have left it like halfway between, it'd be like that or something. But yeah, for what it's worth. Let's just press play, and then when I walk over this, it should. Wow. So that took my health away really quick. Oh, I know what might be happening there. So essentially, if you can see my outer capsule, that's hitting this, and then my mesh of my character was also hitting the cube, so it's done damage twice. Now when we fire projectiles, that's going to be a bit of a pain. So I'm just going to go back. I'm going to go to the capsule component, and scroll down to collision, and this is set to pawn. So I'm gonna go to custom, and I'm gonna say ignore projectiles. But that wouldn't have been a projectile, would it? You know what, actually, go to that capsule component. Yeah, I don't know how I would get around that, actually. So we're ignoring visibility. What are we doing? Oh, let's go and check this. Collision overlap all. So I guess we could say ignore visibility. I might actually just set that back to pawn and just see what happens, because I've effectively changed my pane. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that too much. My health system's working for now, so I'm not going to worry about the colliders and stuff, because as long as bullets do damage, that's all I'm bothered about. So for now, I'm not going to worry about that. Anyway, so let's set up a die, you know, because just some text on the screen saying you're dead, it's not really good, is it? So let's just delete that print string and let's just have a look. So now, one thing I do know about is a mesh. The thing about a mesh is, as you can see, my character just like jiggling around a little bit. The reason he's doing that is because he's running what's currently called an idle animation, and he's being told to do that idle animation by the animation blueprint, and that's essentially like a set of scripts that says if you're not moving anywhere, or if you're not receiving any input, just do this idle animation and bob around a little bit, and then when somebody walks forward, do a walking animation, and when someone jumps, do the jumping animation. Now, because of this, blueprint is sort of controlling the physics and the movement of this mesh. If I go down to physics, simulate physics is not activated. If I tick this, physics takes over, and you know, if I was in, there you go. When you then simulate, the physics comes into play, and your character is, I mean, your mesh is essentially trying to jump out of this capsule, so it like springs like that. When we get shot and we die, if we simulate physics, the character should essentially just fall on the floor, because gravity is taking control. So that's what I'm thinking of doing for the die. I think if we drag off that and do set all bodies, set all bodies to simulate physics in the mesh. So let's do that. Drag that down here. And then let's take that. Let's just have a go. So, okay, very explosive. Again, this cube's a little bit overpowered, but it's done what I wanted to. Oh. But I can still move around without a body. Okay, that's a bit of an issue. So, I guess the next thing we need to do is disable input. Disable input, there we go. And that requires a player controller reference, so for that we can just type in get player controller, pop that there, drag this down a little bit, and then so I know the player controller handles the mouse movement, so I'm going to assume that our keyboard keys still work. So one other thing we can do is we can disable input for the I think it's disable movement actually for this. Right, well, I don't know if that's it. Anyway, before I start messing around with all that, let me just type in disable and see what comes up. Disable. There we go, disable movement for the character component. That's exactly what I want. So I'll just pop that under there, and let's check that out. Hit compile. So now what we're going to do is when we die, we're going to simulate physics. We're going to disable input and movement. So now I should bump into that, and now no matter how much I try and click, I'm dead. Awesome. When I get a bit further down the path, I'll worry about respawning and resetting this. I might have to undo some of this, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Right. So we're on half an hour, and we've done the damage system. Well, I've got 4 minutes left before it's half an hour, and I'm going to cut it there. So quickly, just to benefit us, what I'm going to do is let's add in 2 more variables, and let's put kills and deaths, and let's change these to a float. Now there is a chance that I might move these 2 scores or figures, these data points, to the game mode, depending on how it works with other characters. However, for the time being, I'm gonna say deaths are set. Every time you die, we want to get our current deaths, and if you type ++ incremental float, essentially what this does is it just adds 1 every time. So deaths +1, oh there you go, adds 1 to the specific value, then sets it. Oh, and then sets it. Oh, that's neat. So I don't even need this set. Okay, let's test that. So by default, let's press compile. By default, deaths is set to 0. Let's just... This is probably going to be a really bad idea, but every time we move forward, let's print a string. And let's print our deaths. Get deaths. And pop that in there. This is purely debugging. I'm going to delete this in a second. So every time I move forward now, I bump into this, boom. Oh. Okay, maybe that was a bad idea. What about off a tick? This is probably going to be 10 times worse, but at least it'll keep running. And then boom. There we go. Sweet. So my deaths has gone up by 1. So we've got a death counter. Okay, where are we at? 2 minutes. So every time we die now, our deaths is going to increase by 1. Kills, I guess we can't really do anything with that just yet. I guess when we die, we could say who caused the damage. Let's say like all of the bots in this game are going to be a copy of me, which is a UE4 ASP character. So if I cast to UE4 character, because that is going to be the damage causer, but it's going to be which one is it, which one has caused it. Either way, the actor reference is going to be a UE4 character. So I'm trying something here. I don't know if this is going to work or not. And you know, we're at 30 minutes now, but I'll deal with it. When we die, so let's either way, when we die, whatever caused the damage. Now this could fail, so if this fails, let's just print and say death cause failed. I'll know what that means. It doesn't really make that much sense, but I know what that means. So whoever caused the damage, let's cast to them, and inside that character there's going to be a kill value. So let's get that kill value, get the kills, and then let's increment it by 1, and then let's set that. So in theory, that should be the most basic kill counter I've ever seen in my life. And again, let's get kills. Let's get a tick. Please don't use ticks. If you've, I mean, you can use it, but if you've ever got the option that you don't need to use it, don't use it. Because they become really they really hammer your performance later on down the line. As soon as you start got loads of stuff going on, it ruins your game. I forgot what I'm doing now. Print string. I'm just testing this kill thing, and then let's just print that to that. So let's compile. I'm just going to save everything because yeah, this could fail and I could end up crashing and then I'll cry. Right, so at the moment it's 0, 0, 0, but I've nothing to kill, so you know that's not going to help. Let's find my character. So that was under animations, animation starter pack, and I tell you what, let's move that as well. Let's move our character to our blueprints folder. Move it. I hope this doesn't mess it up. So now in our blueprints folder we've got, and I was going to rename it, but you know that might ruin everything, so I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to drag one of these into the world. So it's not going to do anything because there isn't a controller behind it just yet, but hopefully if I press play, there we go. So I've got double numbers on the screen. Why? Oh, there's actually a 0 and a 1 on the screen because there was two. Because there's 2 of me in the world. Oh yeah, that's a bad idea. Because there's 2 of me in the world, both characters are actually displaying this kill counter independently. So my print string of 1 is now on the screen because I've just killed that other character. However, the dead character is displaying that it doesn't have any kills. Right, got you. So when I come to do the heads-up display later, that might get a bit confusing. Okay, we're already at 33 minutes. We've got the foundations of a kill counter. We've got the foundations of a death counter. We've tested our pain. We've set our damage up on the projectile. We have set, yeah, let's get rid of that for now. Get rid of that tick, compile. Yeah, and we've tidied things up, and we die. Yeah, that's another good thing. We're actually dying now. So we're receiving damage, we're dying, and then we're actually doing something that looks like a death. And yeah, so we've got this. I tell you what, I'm going to leave that the way it is for now, because if it ever fails, it'd be really handy to know. And we'll pull that to here, and we'll pull that to there. Right. Yeah, this is getting long again already, so that's going to be it for today. The next video will be on Sunday, and I'm going to try and get the AI done tomorrow. So today is actually Monday, but you'll be watching this on Wednesday. So on Tuesday, I'm going to try and get the AI done and get that video recorded, so then it's going to be ready for Sunday, and then I get a couple of days off, or I can spend some time looking into the next video. So with all that being said, if you've got it this far, thank you for watching, appreciate that. And if there's something you want me to definitely cover in the next video, if I don't, there's probably going to be another video after that, but yeah, if there's something you want me to cover specifically, pop it down in the comments below, and if it works in the flow of this project, then I'll do it. Alternatively, I'll answer your question. You know, if it's something you want me to cover just in generally, you know, I might be able to cover it with someone else. Yeah, let me know, give me your feedback. It's all appreciated. If you followed along for this far, you don't want to miss part 3, so consider subscribing so you get that notification. Yeah, I've also got some social media bits and pieces now. Not really into the swing of things of posting regularly, but I've got a TikTok, and I've started doing YouTube shorts. I guess you'll see them anyway if you subscribe. And yeah, there's a Patreon. You know, again, nothing too serious at the moment. I've put 2 tiers on there, one for just a basic, it's really like almost like a donation for both of them. One's £1 and one's £3. The £3 one, you know, is kind of like, you're going to buy me a coffee, because that's about the average price of a coffee. The £1 one is just, you know, a pure donation, I guess. But anyway, I'm talking too much now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on Sunday. Thank you very much.